You're sitting there staring at the calendar, counting down the days, and feeling time slip through your fingers like sand. 40 hits, and suddenly panic fills your chest. 50 comes, and your soul feels heavy, crushed under the weight of all the things you haven't done, all the dreams you put off, all the chances you let slip away. 60 hits, and you think it's over. You think the show is done. You think it's time to pack up your ambitions, close the door on your potential, sit in the armchair, and wait for the reaper to knock. But let me tell you something. None of that is true. I am 92 years old. I've lived lifetimes that most people never even imagine. If you are 60 today, I've already lived a second life since I was your age. 32 years filled with mistakes, victories, heartbreak, joy, failures, and more lessons than you can count. 32 years is a lifetime. That's the same stretch of time between a newborn and a 30-year-old. And if you think that's too little, think again. That is enough time to change everything. That is enough time to rewrite your story. But you have to start today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today. People let fear convince them they are old. They let hesitation convince them that doors are closed, that paths are blocked, that opportunity has passed them by. And the truth is, they are not old. They are just afraid. Afraid to fail, afraid to look foolish, afraid to step off the path that is familiar, even if it's destroying them from the inside. Fear masquerades as wisdom. Fear tells you it's too late, you've missed your chance. Fear is a liar. It doesn't matter what age you are. What matters is whether you are willing to fight, whether you are willing to show up, whether you are willing to do the work day after day after day. Let me tell you about Jerry. Jerry was a lawyer. He hated it, hated every second of it. He was miserable, drinking too much, waking up every day, and walking into a life that made him feel dead inside. But he was stuck. He had spent decades climbing a ladder that led nowhere. Then one day, at 55, he stopped. He quit the law. He started making furniture. His wife thought he was crazy. His friends laughed at him. "You're throwing away a pension," they said. Jerry didn't care. He didn't care about their judgment. He didn't care about their disbelief. He cared about feeling alive. For the next 30 years until he was 85, he worked with his hands. He created beauty. He built something real, and he smiled every single day. 30 years of joy that mattered more than 50 years of misery. That is what happens when you have the courage to start over. That is what happens when you stop honoring a mistake just because you've spent a long time making it. You get up, you start again. You chase what matters. You refuse to let your life be stolen by comfort, by fear, by ego. The real enemy isn't time. It isn't energy. It isn't money. It's your pride, your ego, your need to be seen as competent, as an expert, as someone who has it all figured out. Starting over makes you a beginner. It makes you a fool in the eyes of the world. You will look stupid. You will fail. You will take instructions from people younger than you. And it burns, doesn't it? It grates at your pride. It challenges everything you've built. But here's the truth. There is no dignity in living a life you hate. There is no honor in pretending to be happy while your soul is dying slowly inside. True dignity comes from courage, from humility, from stepping into the unknown and saying, "I don't know. I will learn. I will grow. I will fight." The most dangerous person in the world is not the young, brash, fast-talking kid who thinks they know everything. It is the old man or woman who has learned how to fight, who has survived life's storms, who has the wisdom of decades and the humility of a student willing to learn again. That person can change everything. That person can rise again. That person can teach the young a thing or two about courage. And yet so many people fall into the trap of retirement. They treat it like the finish line when it's really a death sentence. Retirement is a modern invention, a trap designed to make you sit still and slowly fade away. In nature, no animal retires. They work until their last breath. And when humans retire too early, when they stop using their minds, stop challenging themselves, stop chasing purpose, they rot. I've seen men, strong men, vibrant men, hit 65, get their gold watch, move to Florida, sit in a recliner, and within 5 years they were gone. Not from disease, not from illness, but from rot. From the slow death of a life unlived. When you stop challenging yourself, when you stop pushing, when you stop believing that you can still matter, that is when your soul dies long before your body does. You need a mission. You need a dragon to fight. You need a reason to rise out of bed every morning, bigger than breakfast, bigger than comfort, bigger than the easy way. You need stress. Good stress, the kind of stress that makes your muscles ache in the morning, that makes your mind sharpen, that forces your heart to beat faster because you are alive and moving towards something that matters. And don't tell me you don't have the energy. Frank, I'm tired. I'm not as strong as I used to be. I can't run like I did at 20. Good, you were an idiot at 20. Running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Running blindly, breaking things, making noise, thinking motion was progress. Now you have something better. You have efficiency. You have wisdom. You have experience. You know people. You know the world. You know how to spot a liar, how to manage your temper, how to move without wasting energy, how to hit the target because you understand it. If you apply that knowledge, that efficiency, that wisdom to a new goal, you will outpace the young every single time. Your age is not a handicap. Your age is leverage. Your mind is sharper. Your instincts are honed. Your judgment is trained by decades of trial, failure, and triumph. You are dangerous. You are unstoppable if you choose to be. It comes down to discipline, consistency, and belief in yourself. There is no shortcut. There is no secret. You show up every day. You fight when you don't want to. You work when you are exhausted. You fall and you get back up. You embrace failure as a teacher, not a verdict. You push past fear, past doubt, past the voice inside your head telling you that you're too late, too tired, too old, too weak. You ignore it. You ignore the whispers of everyone telling you to settle. You do not settle. You fight, you create, you rise, you rebuild, you become more than you were yesterday, and then tomorrow you rise again, higher, stronger, wiser. Let me tell you another story. There was a man once who spent 40 years in a job he despised. Every morning he went to a place that drained him, where his soul screamed for air, where his heart felt heavy with regret. But he was scared, scared to start over, scared to fail, scared of what people would think. Then one day he realized he was already failing by staying where he was. He quit. He started a small business. He made mistakes every day. He lost money. He stumbled. But he learned. He grew. He adapted. And in 10 years, he had built a life he loved, a life he chose, a life that made him jump out of bed because he was alive, not because he had to be alive. That is the power of self-belief. That is the power of starting over. That is the power of discipline and consistency. One day of effort, repeated over years, changes everything. One small choice, repeated every day, can rebuild your entire life. You have to fight against the voice that says you can't. You have to fight against your own fears, your own hesitation, your own comfort. You have to believe in yourself when no one else does. You have to show up when no one is watching. You have to put in the work hour after hour, day after day, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when it seems like progress is invisible, because that's where transformation lives. That's where the magic happens. That's where ordinary people become extraordinary. That's where your life, your purpose, your legacy is born. Think about every regret you've ever had, every time you said no when you should have said yes, every opportunity you let pass, every dream you abandoned because it was scary, every risk you didn't take, every moment you traded for comfort or ease or fear. That is wasted time, and wasted time is a sin against yourself. It is a theft from the person you could have been, from the life you could have lived, from the difference you could have made. Don't waste another second, not one. Time is moving. Time does not wait. It is relentless. It is unforgiving. And it is also abundant if you use it. 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, that is enough to do something incredible. That is enough to transform your life. That is enough to make a difference in the world, but you have to act. Do not fear being a beginner. Do not fear looking foolish. Do not fear failing. Every master was once a beginner. Every great success story began with a stumble, a misstep, a mistake, a moment of doubt, and every day they rose again. You will rise again. You will grow stronger. You will build the life you want. But you cannot wait for someone to hand it to you. You cannot wait for permission. You cannot wait for the stars to align. You have to stand up, take the first step, and keep moving. You have to be relentless. You have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent. You have to believe in yourself when the world doubts you. Look, I am 92. The sun is setting on my day. I know that. I can feel it. But for you, the sun is barely past noon. You have decades ahead of you. You have time to reinvent yourself, to rebuild, to fight for what matters. You have time to love, to create, to grow, to conquer fears, to chase dreams. You have time to become a completely different person if you choose. But the choice is yours. Not tomorrow, not next week, today, right now. Show up, work hard, learn, fall, get up, persist, keep moving, keep fighting, keep believing, keep striving, keep becoming. Because life is too short to settle. Life is too precious to waste. Life is too fleeting to be afraid. So hear me clearly. Stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop counting down the days, stop letting fear control you. Do not die before you are dead. Do not waste your years in comfort, in fear, in pride, in doubt. You have power, you have strength, you have wisdom, you have experience, you have time, you have a choice. And the moment you decide, the moment you act, the moment you rise, everything changes. Time is moving. The world is waiting. Your life is calling. Stop making excuses. Stop being afraid. Stop pretending you cannot. Get up, show up, fight, work, learn, create, love, build, be relentless, be disciplined, be consistent, believe in yourself. Chase your dreams, rewrite your story, reinvent yourself, and remember, you are not too old, you are not too tired, you are not too late, you are alive, you are powerful, you are unstoppable, and it all starts right now.